Number 6, women's college basketball, Alabama, LSU. Angel Reese had the block. Lester Poa, how about that feed to Flau'jae Johnson? We show the whole sequence again. Good defense leads to good offense, and just, get tricky with it. LSU wins it.
Welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Bud Man, Buddy Songy. We're here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Of course, we tape here on February the 14th, so let us wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. Hope it's filled with a lot of love with those who you hold close to your heart. Bud Man, a lot on today's show. We'll talk some LSU football. National Signing Day was a week ago today. Coach Brian Kelly has some comments to wrap up that signing class. A big get for LSU in a position of need. Dominic McKinley confirms his national letter of intent to play for the Tigers. A big position of need, D tackle, huge freshman, 6'5", 273 is listed at. But man, we'll also talk some basketball. You saw in the intro, the highlight was Coach Kim Mulkey's team defeating an Alabama squad who had a 10-point lead on the Tigers at halftime. But the Tigers came out, flipped the switch, had some pressure early in the second half, had some turnovers, and flipped that score around to beat the Crimson Tide handily at home. I'll also talk some men's basketball. Of course, yesterday was Fat Tuesday. Hope you all enjoyed a very safe Mardi Gras. And Coach Matt McMahon's team was facing a very talented Florida Gator squad who had won 5 of their last 6. And, of course, Coach McMahon's team got down pretty big early in that second half, became all the way back, almost tied it up at the very end, had a great look at the basket, but come up just short, 82-80. And, of course, there was a big football game this past weekend. The day of Bacchus was Super Bowl Sunday. The Chiefs and the 49ers from Vegas, all the pageantry and all of the glamour in Vegas. It was a great game, went to overtime. We'll talk a lot about that on this episode of Tigers Roar and a whole lot more. Remind you guys real quick, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Also, download the Pelican Broadcasting app. It's available for your app store if you have an iPhone, or the Google Play Store if you have an Android. Click the Pelican Broadcasting app, the free download. Just log in with an email, and you're able to keep all of the shows and the radio for Buddy Songy Sports Talk 1 to 3 on weekdays right there on your smartphone in your pocket. Take it wherever you want to go. Once again, Pelican Broadcasting app. Welcome in the Bud Man. Great to see you, my man. That was a lot to get to, but want to welcome you into this episode of Tigers Roar.
Good to see everybody. It is Valentine's Day and night, so guys, make sure you take care of your special loved one. Also, the start of Lent, Ash Wednesday. You can't see the ashes with the hat that I'm wearing, but it is the start of Lent. That means fasting and no eating of meat tonight, no eating of meat on Fridays. And as you alluded to, Super Bowl 58. By the way, next year in the Crescent City, they've already got the logo for Super Bowl 59, the most watched Super Bowl ever, as they usher in another halftime performance. Yep. We'll ask JP what he thought. That being said, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Neil Farrell, get him a ring. Kansas City, going to Kansas City, here they come. 3 of the last 5 years, Super Bowl champs. And we just got the printout. Andy Reid celebrated by eating and drinking 14,203 calories after the game. Big celebration. Of course, you know the Swifties were there. You know Kelsey got a little upset. We'll talk a little bit about that. Did he go over the line? As I got to be honest with you, Andy Reid was in a fog early. I don't know what the hell he was calling every run play, but in the end, I don't blame Kelsey, but I think JP at some point, you can't do that. You got to show respect. But Andy might have needed a little bump. I'm not sure what he was doing with play calling. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Kyle Shanahan, he was the offensive coordinator with the biggest choke job ever, 28-3 Atlanta.
Yep.
Did he grab the throat again and get away from the run game in this game? We'll talk about all that. And as JP alluded to, LSU football going great guns. LSU baseball starting this Friday, 2 o'clock start against VMI. They'll play 4 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. All of that on the plate with Tigers Roar on a Wednesday, February 14th.
To remind you guys, there is a fan fest before the game on Friday. It starts at 11 o'clock. It's free to enter. You can take pictures with the national championship trophy. They'll have inflatables for the kids. Go out early. Check it out. 11 to 2 before the game. Free to fans to get in. Once again, fan fest to open up the 2024 campaign. We'll hear from Hayden Travinsky, the catcher, first baseman, DH for this team, who really got hot last year, hit a lot of home runs, bud, man. Looking to have a big year. He's wearing number 8 this season. You know what that signifies to the team. He's going to be a leader in the clubhouse, and I think he is poised to make a big jump, make himself a lot of money coming up here in the next draft.
LSU, 10 lefties, and they all can pitch. We are expecting Thatcher Hurd, Holman from Alabama, of course, Gage Jump, and we don't know who the fourth starter will be. Jay Johnson meeting with the media later on this afternoon. So it is, once again, a lot on our plate, a lot on your plate, and we hope that you and yours brought in the Mardi Gras festivities in a safe and happy way, because it just seems like, JP, it's going by very quick as we do these shows on Wednesday.
Bringing up a Mardi Gras, yesterday was Fat Tuesday. We already talked about that, but I want to bring up, Bud, man, there was an incident, a situation in one of the parades down in New Orleans. They had a very funny float, in my opinion. It showed a zombie Derek Carr on a float that said, hadn't seen the end zone in 4,000 years, and there were some jokes about the parody of the offense, how beleaguered it was. And look, Derek Carr, a resident of New Orleans now, of course, he's aware of Mardi Gras, and his family was at the parades, and he took to social media to voice his opinion of the float, and he said, "Look, that's kind of how I felt the first half of the year, so I get it. It makes sense." And so it was all in good fun. Of course, Jameis Winston was out enjoying the festivities, and the weather lady, Margaret Orr for Fox 8, caught up with Jameis Winston and asked him, where would he like to finish out his career? And, of course, he was having a blast at Mardi Gras and taking as many pictures as he could. He said he'll take pictures as long as he's out there. He loves the fans, loves the city of New Orleans, and he wants to stay a Saint for the rest of his career. And a great ambassador, even though he's not a starter anymore. He's great for the clubhouse. All the teammates really love Jameis, and just good to see the National Football players, the Saints, get out in the public, enjoying Mardi Gras, even if you do wind up on a float like Derek Carr.
Well, Jameis Winston, if he could play football as well as he interviews and dances, and he's just a guy that everybody gravitates. But, folks, all year long, as you saw me being very frustrated with LSU football, specifically the defense, I said, can we get us a new house to live in? That has happened. I got a feeling next year, if Derek doesn't get it done, you're going to be looking to purchase a new car.
We'll take our first break of this episode of Tigers Roar. Before we do that, I want to remind you guys, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the Tigers Roars are archived right there for you viewing pleasure, as long as everything we do here at the Pelican. So while you're at the page, click the notification button, the like button, and the subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, it will help us with the algorithm, and you'll be notified every time we post something new right there on our YouTube page. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Come back and join us a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. You're watching Pelican Sports TV.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Right now, during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5, or get 0.9% financing on the all-new 24 Mazda CX-90. Save thousands on over 150 new Mazdas now on sale at Team Mazda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
We continue here on Tigers Roar. We watch some Pelican Sports TV. Jonathan Poche and the Budman, Buddy Songy, here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We're going to talk some LSU football, National Signing Day. The second part was a week ago today as we tape here on the 14th of February. Coach Brian Kelly, you'll hear from him in just a moment, had some comments. There was a big get for LSU on that last day, Budman. Dominic McKinley from Acadiana, Lafayette, Louisiana, 6'5", 276. He's listed as a freshman coming in to play D tackle, a position of need for LSU, no doubt. Coach Brian Kelly will address. He says, look, we try to fill positions of need. Of course, they want to bring in some guys from the transfer portal that also had experience in that secondary. But, man, we knew going into this offseason that defensive tackle was a position of desperate need for LSU. McKinley, the best player in Louisiana. Most have him rated a consensus 5-star, but most have him rated as the best player in Louisiana. Huge get for LSU. Of course, they wanted to recruit and lock down the state of Louisiana. They signed 9 of the top 10 players in Louisiana. I think it's 12 of the top 14, Budman. So definitely solidifying that state. And all but 3 players, Budman, are from Louisiana or border states. So LSU absolutely did a fantastic job of recruiting their base and filling positions of need.
28 signees. Of course, we know McKinley was last Wednesday. 6 transfer portal. So we're looking at about 34 or 35. I think they're still working on getting a few more D tackles and D linemen in the portal. Obviously, you asked the question which freshmen are going to come in and be able to be in the 2 deep and possibly play. We will start to follow spring practice coming up in about, 2 or 3 weeks, March the 5th, I think. And obviously, JP, you've got a transition year. The defense is going to be appreciably better, but everybody knows on these mock drafts, Jaden Daniels, where do you got him? You got him top 3, top 4, top 2, top 5?
I got him top 6. I don't see him getting out past that 6th spot.
Yeah, I'm going to go top 4 or 5 for Jaden Daniels. Malik Neighbors, top 10. Brian Thomas Jr., top 15, top 20. Losing those guys on offense, but it will be interesting. 5 different defensive coaches. Slade Nagel comes in coaching of course, tight ends and special teams. Joe Sloan, a very young offensive coordinator, getting the opportunity to make the big calls. Cortez Hankton helping him. And as we know, Brian Kelly always involved on that. Special teams, you're going to have a new punter and some other responsibilities. But we do feel like, and everything I'm seeing, JP, on these real early preseason polls, we've been talking 11, 12, 13, 14 at the worst, 10 or 11 at the best. That's where most of us are thinking LSU will be preseason to start this 2024 season. And the stadium you saw the Super Bowl in is going to be the one hosting LSU and USC. September 1, that's a Sunday night, early Labor Day. Many Tiger fans will be making that trip.
Well, here is head coach Brian Kelly, his comments of the 2023 signing class and a whole lot more. Here's head coach Brian Kelly here on Tigers Roar.
I want to take this opportunity on, I guess this is the second signing day, or however you guys would like to designated, but we did have one player in the state of Louisiana sign. He happens to be the top player in the state of Louisiana, so we wanted to give him the due respect. Dominic McKinley out of Acadiana High School signed with us this morning, and we're excited about him, a consensus 5-star defensive lineman, ranked 13th nationally. I think that's 8 out of the top 12, 12 of the top 15 players in the state of Louisiana that we're able to sign in this class, and certainly adding Dominic to this class really tops it off for us. So really excited about his national letter of intent this morning, and also the transfer portal additions that I didn't talk about back in December. And look, I mean, it's very strategic for me in terms of looking at the portal. You know, we looked at it from a perspective of fit and need, but fit first. And as I've said to you before, I think it's, you know, for us, we're going to develop and build this program with high school players, and then be very strategic with the portal. It's no coincidence that 4 out of the 6 players are from the state of Louisiana, and have ties to the state of Louisiana. 2 from Baton Rouge out of U High, 2 from New Orleans, and John Ehret and Warren Easton High School. And then 2 that are established players from the SEC. One of the things that we needed to do from an offensive perspective is we needed to add some offense back into an offense that lost some prolific weapons, and we do that with you know, 3 players in particular: A.J. Swan, C.J. Daniels, and Xavion Thomas. If you take those 3 together, combined, they bring in 4,200 yards of offense total. And so, you know, you look at, for example, A.J. Swan with 22 touchdown passes in 23. Jaden Daniels had 19 in his first year. So, you know, you're bringing in somebody that you feel really good about his ability to generate offense at the quarterback position. C.J. Daniels, 1,000 yards in receiving. And so, again, you know, replacing some offense was very, very important strategically, as well as we continue to develop and bring along young players in our program. We needed to do that. And Xavion Thomas, you know, 500 yards and 40 touches. Now you've got almost 100 touches with 2 wide receivers that have, you know, experience coming back into your offense. So that was really important to us. Defensively, we were looking for somebody that was experienced and that played off the hash, and we got that in Jordan Gilbert, you know, safety at Texas A&M, played a lot of football, you know, 25 games of football, and again, right here from U High. Jair Brown, who is an experienced player and a starter at Ohio State. And then Austin Osbury, who, you know, obviously from right here, who's an outstanding athlete. So, again, needs, we still have some needs. You know, the defensive tackle position is one that we're still vetting, that we have some needs that we'll continue to look at moving forward, going into the spring. But again, excited about Dominic McKinley and his addition today. And then moving forward, we could have, you know, we've got a 7-day window here in the signing period. You know, we could have some other movement here. So, again, pretty excited about the closing of this this signing day, and then certainly the additions that we made in the portal. So, with that, we'll open it up to questions.
Coach, you mentioned building through the high schools, and I believe on different programs, I've heard you talk about the reasoning behind that. Could you kind of elaborate on just the longevity that maybe those that you've experienced with those types of players versus the short-term goals of transfer player portal? portal players?
Well, I mean, we had a huge need last year. You know, there were issues relative to numbers within our program where we had to go into the transfer portal just to field a roster, you know, from a defensive perspective. And, you know, that's not sustainable. And what's sustainable is player development, retention, and you do that through building relationships with your players that are here because they want to be at LSU. Because, again, one of the other important elements is they're from the state of Louisiana. There's you know, that allegiance to the flagship school and the university. So there's many levels and layers to that. But for me, I think the business plan has been all along to pull our base here in the state of Louisiana, develop the high school player, and then by doing so, you develop a relationship and a trust and an allegiance to the young man that's in your program. That doesn't mean you don't use the transfer portal. I think you've got to be strategic in it, and you've got to be in it when you need it. And I illustrated, you know, how we had to use it last year, and we used it again this year, and we'll continue to use it. But I think it's going to be development of our players first and foremost through the high school ranks.
What went ultimately, you think, into being able to flip Dominic McKinley from Texas A&M there at the during this period, and what are you guys getting in him? What would be your evaluation at this point?
Well, look, you know, when we're talking about the flip, you know, certainly the coaching change there started it, right? So it gave us an opportunity to continue to talk about why we thought that this was the best fit for him. And during that time, when there's a transition, you know, you're able to, you know, build a stronger relationship and trust. And so, you know, a lot of these are built upon that. And we did not have, you know, a consistent situation either at the defensive line position. So, you know, we were fighting against it on both ends. So, you know, we had to solidify our situation and build some continuity there. But the window was opened with the transition at A&M, and then we just became consistent with our ability to, you know, get with him and his family and show them why this was the best choice.
That was head coach of the football team, Brian Kelly, right here on Tigers Roar, wrapping up that 2023 recruiting class. Budman, also want to talk a little bit about the transfers. Of course, you get A.J. Swan, the quarterback for Vanderbilt. He brings a lot of experience. He's going to push Nussmeier in that competition, especially heading into the spring. Of course, you get Jordan Gilbert, a very experienced secondary player from Texas A&M. I was able to flip to LSU, of course, with the coaching change down there for the Aggies. But, man, did LSU, in your opinion, do enough in the transfer portal and this signing class to compete back to that SEC championship caliber?
I think they're still a year away, JP. I think 2025, you're going to have all your ducks in a row. Let's be cognizant of this, folks. Joe Sloan getting on the job training as the OC in front of millions. Garrett Nussmeier getting on the job training in front of millions. Daniels, the wide receiver from Liberty. Xavier Thomas, the wide receiver from Mississippi State. Both those guys are going to play a lot of football. Yep. Thomas is going to be involved in special teams. Obviously, Kyron Lacey. A ton of tight ends, got a bunch of big uglies on the offensive line. Still early to know what the makeup of this team will look like, but I do think they still need another 2 or 3 defensive players, specifically in that defensive front, to add on. And as we know, crazy stuff happens. Alabama's struggling with their transition. Their offensive coordinator went back to Washington and is going to be with the Seattle ball club, and so it's but it's early. But look, you can just take this to the bank. Georgia's going to be preseason number 1. Texas will be preseason ranked ahead of LSU. Ole Miss going to be preseason 6 or 7. So Alabama probably slightly ahead. Look for the Tigers to be right there, fringe the top 10. But I guess the question I have to start this talking 2024 with LSU football. Can he win the opening game
Right.
in Vegas? That is going to give you a lot of opportunities to get some momentum. You beat USC, you got a chance to be undefeated before you play Ole Miss in Tiger Stadium with a week off to prepare for them.
We have a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. We come back from this break. We'll jump into some LSU basketball. We'll talk about the women. Coach Kim Mulkey and Angel Reese and Anissa Mara will have their post-game press conference as they defeated the Crimson Tide this past weekend. Of course, it's been Mardi Gras week, so the Lady Tigers won't play again until Monday, I believe. Right, Bud, man?
Yeah.
So
At Texas A&M Monday.
A little bit of a stretch to get those bodies right. Last year, Pro has taken like 28 charges over the season, so she needs to get some relax and some recovery time. But we'll hear from Coach, we'll hear from Morrow, and we'll hear from Reese later on in this show. Come back and join us. You are watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Celebrate this holiday season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. And now you can make no payments for 90 days on our biggest selection of Hondas this year, making this the happiest time of the year. Come save now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The winning play is the Buy Here, Sell Here event at the Team Automotive Group. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here and you'll be the winner at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
LSU women's basketball now sits at 21-4, 8-3 in the SEC, ranked number 13 in the polls. They defeated the Crimson Tide 85-66, Bud, man. But at halftime, the Crimson Tide had a 10-point lead on the Tigers. LSU looked sluggish. They weren't doing anything well. Weren't running, weren't rebounding, weren't shooting. Coach Kim Mulkey, who you'll hear from a little bit later on, she was asked, what was that halftime meeting like? Of course, Kim Mulkey, she's a total rock star. She said, well, it was Sunday, so it's kind of like a prayer meeting. I thought that was great. Of course, it wasn't exactly like a prayer meeting. She kind of got into those players' behinds a little bit. But there is a lot of self-accountability on that team, Bud, man. A lot of leadership in that locker room. Starting with Angel Reese, you can say what you want about her game, but she's an absolute leader for this team. Coach Kim Mulkey knows she has her back in any situation, and she did a really great job against the Crimson Tide. I'll read her stat line. 27 points, 19 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block to lead the Tigers. That's a fantastic stat line, Bud, man. And it looks like the Lady Tigers are really starting to pick it up right at the right time.
The biggest problem with the women is dribble, drive, penetration with guard play. They do not have the foot speed and the actual speed on defense. This is why Poche came in. Poche started the second half. Poche had the best game of her life, a career game, 11 points, and a bunch of other stats. Haley Van Lith is much better at the two guard. They had her playing the point. A lot of people are wondering. I think Coach Mulkey's got to press her tomorrow. But I don't know. You know, she's not going to give her game plan away. But look, as we know, you got to stay out of foul trouble. Michaela Williams, still not right. I think she's hit that freshman wall. When she's on, JP, you can tell. She was born to shoot a jump shot. Anissa Marr did not have a great game. Got to get more minutes from Del Rosario. And, of course, as we know, the Tigers, look, I don't think anything matters on these polls, but I do think it's a little ridiculous that they stay in at 13. Once they drop, Iowa got beaten, didn't drop out the top 5. So you still have the hate Kim Mulkey factor with a lot of these national media. As long as they're a top 4 seed, JP, they'll host first and second round. Of course, that is imperative for them to get to the Sweet 16.
Of course, LSU last year had Alexis Morris playing point guard. Ms. Morris has notified the public she's going to be joining the Harlem Globetrotters, so congratulations to Miss Alexis Morris. LSU certainly missed her leadership on the floor early in this season. They brought in Haley Van Lith, a very talented guard from Louisville, but it was a transition period, Bud, man, which she's still trying to get it. She's trying to get her feet wet in a point guard position. You know, she can shoot the basketball. This team is much better when last year Poche can come in and play that spot and move Haley to the 2 spot. It starts with defense for Poche. She's great on the defensive end. She'll attack the best offensive player for the other team. You'll hear from Angel Reese talk about how big of a deal she is to this team. And last year, Poche, she gave quality minutes the last couple of games, Bud, man. And Coach Kim Mulkey, look, she said in a press conference, we brought her in early the second half because she's our best defender on the press, but she stayed in the game because she did a whole lot more. 11.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and the block. You mentioned Anissa Marr, who we'll also hear from in a post-game press conference. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have 5 steals, though, and a block. So even if you're not scoring points, Anissa Marr did find a way to help her team win a game with the 5 steals, Bud, man. So
Anissa Marr is going to have, I think she's going to break the steals record in a single season. She's been fantastic, anticipating passes and jumping in and getting the layup. But look, you want to peak this team at the right time. Coach Mulkey and her staff were able to do that last year. Everybody hoping they got another run in them. Samaya Smith, that was a very tough injury, took away one of their big players. And of course, she's 6'2", undersized, but she could play some posts. Just had a great knack around the basket as far as rebounding. I don't think, JP, they can get to the Final Four, but I do think they can get Elite 8. That's probably the apex, but you never know. Don't ever doubt Kim Mulkey and Bob Starkey and the game plans they're going to come up with.
Well, here he is, Coach Kim Mulkey, Angel Reese, and Anissa Marr after their 85-66 win against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Here it is right here on Tigers Roar.
The second half, or y'all just took them out?
Yeah, you got to give kudos to Alabama. I mean, they're a great team on the road, and I think they came out and made a lot of shots. And we just had to adjust at halftime. We were down by 10, and then I think we just dominated the second half, starting with our defense, and then, of course, getting our crowd into it. The students, they came out tonight knowing that we don't have school for Monday and Tuesday. They still stayed the weekend and came out and supported. So we appreciate that, but we got to give kudos to Alabama.
Anissa, pretty good night for you tonight as you reach that milestone. Can you just talk about how you feel about that tonight, reaching that milestone here at LSU?
It feels great to get to 2,000 points here. I've worked hard my whole basketball career, but even though my shots weren't falling, I had to figure out how can I help my team, and that was defending, stealing the ball, getting deflections.
To both players, how did last year Poche energize the game and the offense? And secondly, what kind of person is she? Everyone just seems to love her as a teammate and as a player.
I mean, well, playing with her last year, she played under Alexis Morris, so she knows this team like the back of her hand. Just gaining confidence from her the last 2 games has just been something that we needed. Of course, it's hard for Haley as a point guard that she's transitioning to that position, and Poche coming in and knowing it and being able to push Haley to the 2 spot. I think she's done a great job of that. Poche has just accepted her role at any place that she is at, and I think having an unselfish player like that on your team is something that you'll always love.
I would second that and say that she's just accepted her role on the team, but also one thing that I tell Poche is just play at your own pace. And when she plays at her own pace and give hesitations and do everything, she's very successful with that.
Anissa and Angel, for both of you, how would you describe currently your chemistry between each other on the court It seems like you guys gotten to the point where you know where each other's going to be. Those passing lanes seem to always be there. Is this where you'd like for it to be as the regular season is winding down?
I would definitely say, of course, we would love for it to be like that. But I know that Angel's always doubled in the post. So if I have the opportunity to drive and kick it to her because nobody's talking on defense, then that's what I'll do because I'm not a selfish teammate. So as long as it's helping our team and we're doing well, then that's all that matters.
For both players, what were the conversations like at halftime when you talked about what went wrong in the first half and then what kind of adjustments y'all needed to make in the second?
I'm just going to say we told each other to play harder. Just telling each other we needed to wake up. If we didn't play defense, we were going to lose this game. Like I said, Alabama is a great team on the road. They just won against Tennessee at home, and I know they were coming in off that win hot. They have a lot of great players, and they know our team really well. And playing a team the second time, of course, is always hard to just play them and beat them because they know everything that we're going to do. So I just think that we just came together second half and just played really hard together.
Yeah, y'all rarely press in games. And the start of the second half, to start the press, that kind of gets you in the proper mind frame of we've got to start playing and just basically flying all over the place.
We might need to start pressing more. I mean, being able to see what we can do because we don't practice. We don't practice that a lot. A lot of times we're playing people straight up man to man, and being able to just make that turn. We were down 10, and I think that momentum got us going. And then I think a couple times in the first half we threw a zone at them as well. So just trying to change the defenses up as much as we can, and having a team where all 5 players can switch on everybody, I think that has helped us a lot as well.
Angel, when they're fronting you and they're doubling you, how does that make things challenging for the offense?
Well, it makes my job easier because I know my teammates are going to knock the shot down. I did have 6 assists tonight, so just being able to pass to my teammates that I know are going to make those shots. If they double me, then somebody else is great open. So I don't have a worry that when I do get double teamed, I know how to kick it out and see where my teammates are, and they know that I'm going to get double most of the time. So they're open, and like you said, me and Anissa's chemistry has just keep growing and growing.
As we got time for a couple more here with the players.
For either or both, the momentum building sequences. I know, Angel, there was one where you had a block, and then last year gets the behind the back pass to Flage, and I think there was another where I can't quite remember it, but just talk about those plays and how important they are in games like this where the game was tight for 3.5 quarters, and it seemed like those moments kind of allowed you guys to sort of break free and push the game away.
Yeah, I would say definitely with us struggling in the first half and being down 10, we needed that momentum and we needed to feed off one another and we needed that energy. So I feel like it helped us a lot, and just having each other back. I feel like, of course, when you score offensively and you do something good defensively. So.
Last question here with the players. Jessa.
Angel, the behind the back pass, what did you see from that, and is this the POA that y'all have been waiting on?
Yeah, I love that from Poe. Like I said, she plays a special kind of game. She doesn't look to score a lot, which I get on her a lot. She leaves a lot of shots on the floor that she can take, but she's super unselfish. And her game honestly starts on the defensive end. She takes charges. She goes at the best player and defends them. She gets the chippy calls and does the right things at the right time. And I think you always need a player on your team like Poa, and she's just super unselfish. And I'm glad it's coming to her offensively now. So defense, of course, leads to offense. I'm glad I was able to get that block, but that behind the back, we got to take Poa out to dinner tonight.
In the first half, you tried just about everything. You called an early timeout to try to wake people up. You used a zone. You did everything you could. Nothing worked. At halftime, what did you say, or did you allow the players to kind of, pick themselves up, and then you kind of chimed in?
Well, I disagree that it didn't work. They might have been up 15 or 20 if we didn't play a zone some, so it might have slowed them down a little bit. I want to give credit to Alabama first. Those kids played their hearts out. They hit shots. They had us just a step slow on everything that we did. And yes, I did call the timeout. There was a period of time in that first half where we looked terrible. We looked terrible, terribly out of shape. We just struggling. Halftime, what did I say to them? Well, today's Sunday, so it was like prayer meeting. You don't know that if you're Catholic, right? That's a Baptist term, right? Prayer meeting.
Coach, why start Poa in the second half?
The press. She's the best. We call that our 11 full court 1-2-1-1. The guy on the ball was Morrow. We do practice it. We just don't ever have to use it, and we don't practice it like we do other things. The guy on the ball is the ball chaser. Then you have two wings, and you have the interceptor was Angel in the middle, and the guy way back is like your center fielder. That's your protector. And she really is the best protector we have on the team. So that got her on the floor quickly, and she stayed on the floor because she did other things besides that.
Yeah, Coach, in the first half, it looked like they ran a lot of ball screens at y'all and like the communication and whatnot that y'all were working through. Just what were some of the challenges that y'all had there?
Flage had her hands full with Nye, okay? And anytime she comes off an on-ball screen by a post player, you really don't want to switch that. So I think the struggle for us was getting hung up on the screen. Do I go over and get hung up, or do I go underneath and she shoots it? So I thought it was a lot of just uncertainty. Even though we told them how we wanted to guard each one of them, it was like everybody was doing their own thing in the first half.
And that was head coach Kim Mulkey and a few of the LSU basketball players after their victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide. 5 more basketball games before the SEC tournament, starting with Texas A&M on Monday. LSU will travel to the Aggies Bryan College Station in Texas, Bud, man. LSU, all their goals still in front of them, really trying to peak at the right time. Coach Kim Mulkey still trying to figure out her rotation, who she's going to play in those critical minutes, where they're going to play. But, Bud, man, you got freshmen like Michaela Williams and leaders like Angel Reese. There's a very talented team built for the postseason, and hopefully they can make a run.
If Flage and Michaela can find their offense again, then obviously this team, the sky is the limit. You'd like to have a little more depth. But that being said, they're going to stay and host a couple games in the PMAC. Men, let's give Matt McMahon and the men a little credit.
Yep.
They were down 20.
Big, yep.
I text my sister. She said, I got the screaming Reds and I want to turn it off. I said, settle down, Juju. They might make a run, and we started laughing. But little did we know they did make a run. Unfortunate. Jordan Wright, you're a smart guy. You were at Vandy. You're a grad transfer. They're down 2. 10 seconds left. He dribbles down. He had a open 3.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he wanted to be unselfish.
Right.
But, man, on the road, you got to take that 3 ball. Because, look, guess what? If you miss it, you got a chance for a rebound. Unfortunately, they passed it back and forth, and he was wide open for about an 8-foot jumper right inside the foul line and did not convert there. So a tough loss. Nobody's caring about moral victories, but they did. I will say this, JP, they didn't give up.
Right.
And down 20 to come back into that situation, but no moral victories. This is a tough stretch for the men, and they'll probably lose a couple more before they can have some more victories with the SEC play.
Yeah, LSU has dropped 6 of their last 7, facing a very tough stretch of their SEC schedule. Of course, Florida had won 5 of their last 6, really playing good basketball. You mentioned it. LSU got down big by 20 points in the second half, but they fought all the way back. Had a chance to tie it up right there at the end with a little runner. Just came up just short. LSU still having a lot of trouble stopping players on defense, but, man, I think Florida started 8 for 8 from the field in the game. That's just not going to get it done in the SEC. LSU, scoring the bucket. They're up big from last year. I think 7-8 points more a game than they were last year. So it is vastly improved. The players have bought in. Baker, the big man who really found his stroke from deep a couple games ago, he's starting to come along. Hannibal's a good player. You lose Reed. That's a big loss for LSU to be on the bench. But Cook playing well. LSU just needs a few more studs, but, man, like we talked about. Got to get some guys in here for Coach McMahon and really put his coaching philosophy here going full speed.
Will Baker got to have more rebounds. He scored 25 the other day and had 2 rebounds. That's not good enough. Don't have enough strong hands to win 50-50 balls, but they do have an 8-9 10-man rotation, as we alluded to. Jalen Cook's been coming off the bench. Terrell Ward's an excellent shooter. Hunter Dean is a tough guy. That all being said, look, the Jimmies and the Joes, McMahon does not have enough talent. He's going to have to get the sugar daddies who care about basketball to spend some money and get some NIL kids in here. They just don't have enough talent to compete right now.
Yeah, up next for LSU is South Carolina. They travel to Columbia. That game will start 2:30. Oh, that'll be on the SEC Network. South Carolina currently ranked number 11, so it's going to be a tough task for the LSU Tigers. Take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back, talk some LSU baseball. It's game week. LSU will be at the box on Friday. We'll talk to you about that. We'll let you guys hear from the catcher, DH, first baseman, Hayden Stravinsky. He's wearing number 8 this year for the Tigers. Going to be a leader in the clubhouse. He has a lot to say about the expectations of this upcoming season. You don't want to miss it. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Now's the best time to experience Mazda during the Season of Inspiration at Team Mazda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on your new Mazda. That's right, shop now, choose your new Mazda, and make no payments for 90 days at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar, the last segment of today's episode. Certainly appreciate you tuning in. Want to wish you guys a very happy Valentine's Day as we tape here on February the 14th. Time to talk some LSU baseball. It is game week. LSU will be in action Friday, 2 o'clock, VMI at the box. Kind of expect to see Thatcher Hurd on the mound to be that Friday starter for LSU, but Coach Jay Johnson will have a presser a little bit later on in the week, and he'll let you guys know whatever he can divulge to the general public. So we'll keep some cards close to the chest, but man, a lot of guys he's trying to figure out where to place in the rotation, what bullpen spots he wants them at. It took Coach Jay Johnson quite a stretch during the season to get those bullpen spots solidified. Of course, the infield's going to look different this year, starting with that shortstop's position. Jordan Thompson, who played for LSU, which seemed forever. He moved on. Michael Braswell, a transfer, is going to come in, going to play shortstop for LSU. No first baseman, Trey Morgan. We have Jared the Bear Jones. Of course, Tommy White still at third. Second base still up for debate, Bud, man. A few guys might pencil up their name there on the lineup, but Hayden Stravinsky, he's going to wear number 8 this year for the Tigers. He's going to play a lot of DH. He's going to play some first base. He's going to catch a little bit. He's going to be a leader for the Tigers. He's going to be one of the best offensive hitters in the game this season. But, man, we'll let you guys hear from Hayden Chervinsky. And I'm going to talk a little bit about LSU baseball. Here is number 8, Hayden Chervinsky, a grad student baseball player right here on Tigers Roar.
Yeah, I think after this amount of time, it can be challenging. That's where our mindset really comes into key, where if we just focus on every day, I know we'll be ready come opening day. But we have the opportunity to catch the best pitchers, to hit off the best pitchers. So I just look at it as a chance to get better every day.
Have there been any noticeable differences between working with Coach Wes Johnson and now working with Yeskie?
I think they're both two wonderful people that love the game and really appreciate their players. I think Coach Yeskie is a little bit less analytical driven, but he has a good blend of the old school ways of pitching, the new school, and his big spiel is about execution, knowing your job, going in there and performing when you get your chance.
What have you seen from the pitching staff so far?
A lot of depth, and everybody's been healthy thus far, which is big. I mean, we lost, 5 dudes last year to Tommy John, so I'm just glad everybody's healthy, everybody's feeling well. The talent's there, and now we just go out and have fun.
What makes a guy like Thatcher so dynamic?
Just the stuff is so plus. I remember catching him, I think it was last spring was the first time I ever caught him. And I remember getting back there and I was just like, what the hell is this? I couldn't even catch the ball. Now, was that my fault partially? Sure, but the stuff is really that good. And he's just continued to grow as a player and as a person. And the poise has gotten better, the confidence is there. I'm really excited to watch him work this year.
Was it more of like speed or was it movement?
The breaker's just so sharp. It's wild.
What have you seen from Michael Braswell there taking over shortstop?
Well, we've gotten the opportunity to see him over his years at South Carolina. I think as a hitter, he's really improved. The swing's gotten better. I think with our philosophy with offense, he's started to really mesh and become a complete hitter. He can control counts. He's very comfortable with 2 strikes. Our staff all the time talks about how tough of an out he is, of all people. He really makes it tough for them. The defense is really consistent. It's solid, but he's a good player. I'm excited to watch him as well.
Jake Brown's just a freshman, and looks like there's a chance that he starts the big start of the year. What have you sort of seen from him?
Very mature in the way he handles himself. Much like most of me and Al's class when we got here, I think he handles himself very well. And he just goes about things the right way. He's an uber talented, crazy athlete. It kind of snuck up on me. I didn't think he was able to run that fast, jump that high. Kind of caught me off guard because I had heard more about him as a pitcher than as a hitter. But I think he really turned things around. He looks good.
What have you most benefited from so far, hitting, whatever, coming back for this extra year?
Just more reps, because at one point I think it had been 2 years nearly without consistent play, just due to injuries and unfortunate circumstance. But just getting at bats every day. Last fall was the last fall where I didn't miss a single practice, other than due to illness. But that's the first time in my career that's happened. So just being able to be out there, have fun every day, continue to learn the game, and just have experiences with the team.
As an older guy, you're a grad student, right?
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
What's it been like working with some of these freshmen, these 18-year-olds? Has it been kind of an odd adjustment, or has it been fun?
I've said it before, but I think it's me getting used to younger kids. Like some of them are born in 2005, so that's a little bit outside of my realm. But it's been fun. I think our job is to mentor them, help them adjust, help them learn the way that we do things. And I think us as the older group, we've done a good job of that, and they've done a good job of acclimating. The whole class has done a really good job of acclimating to college baseball.
Are there things you've learned from them, whether it's on the field or
new terminology and stuff like that? I mean, that's where they help me out.
Do you have an example of terminology?
I could go into depth, but it's just a different generation. I feel like different, everything. Because we were COVID in college, they were COVID in high school, so I can't imagine having to deal with that.
Jay talked a little bit about the conversations he had with you coming back and everything, and mentioned it was your time. Can you let us in on any of those type of conversations and what that was like, and what kind of maybe pushed you to want to make the decision to come back? Obviously, reps being a big part.
Yeah, reps were a big part of it, but I think over the course of the years, I've just come to love the program and what the program means to me. So I think I was just thankful to be asked back. I thought it was a better opportunity for me to continue getting reps, like you said, to play with Alex again for one last year, to wear the purple and gold again. So like I said, I'm just thankful that I was even asked the opportunity. And in terms of my chance or my time or whatever, I'm confident enough to where like I felt like it was always that way. But now I just have the opportunity where it's going to be an everyday thing.
Is there a hope that the podcast with Alex takes off post-playing?
It's done pretty well thus far. So I love doing it with him. Ashley, Kirby, Dawson, Sierra, they all do such a good job. And they help us out a lot. We really don't have to do a lot. We just run our mouths. Yeah, that's all we do.
What about Dre? Why is that your walkout song?
I don't know. It's the beat of it. I was on the fence of like I wanted to use Black Betty. I thought that would be a good one. But I wound up using that. Just if it worked, I'd change it.
Did you have that last? Yeah, you had it last year, right?
Yeah, same one.
Any pictures that maybe we don't, put in the headlines that looked good so far?
I think a lot of them. Off the top of my head, Cade Anderson, Fidel Ulloa, Cam Johnson, obviously. But I think just top to bottom, we haven't had this opportunity since I've been here. When I got here, I don't think we had a single lefty on our staff, maybe one. And then we had 3 the next year, and now we have 9, 10. So that's a big adjustment. It makes us more versatile all the way around.
And that was Hayden Chervinsky talking about expectations for the 2024 season. LSU will face VMI Friday, 2 o'clock at the Box to kick off the season. But, man, before we get out of here, I want to talk some Super Bowl 58. The Chiefs defeat the 49ers 25-22 in overtime. Nobody was really shocked to see the Chiefs come away with it. Of course, they've been in the big game like 6 of the last 8 years. But there was some storylines, of course. The Swifties were out. It was the most watched Super Bowl in history. We saw Travis Kelce, Taylor's boyfriend, he's better known as, get really riled up, bump into the coach. You brought it up earlier in this program. If you missed that conversation, go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. But I believe Travis Kelce did cross the line. You can't bump the coach, bud, man. You get upset, you want the ball, you start screaming. I've seen that happen a bunch of times, but to run up and shoulder check Big Fred, got him all off balance. That's a big man. He could have tore something in his lower half.
I agree with what you said. I also think that Andy was very foggy. I mean, this is a guy that you got to give some targets to, and I think they had only had one target to him. By the way, you saw Chervinsky. I'm going to tell you, he's going to hit one over the fence. First home run of the year, Chervinsky. Thatcher heard on the mound Friday. Don't forget, a lot of these games early on in February are at 2 o'clock. Super Bowl, I enjoyed it. And new overtime rules. Next time we're on, we'll talk about the implication. The 49er players did not really know what was going on.
Unbelievable. That will do it for this episode of Tigers Roar. We certainly enjoyed it. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. If you missed any of this episode, go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting for all the Tigers Roars archived right there for you viewing pleasure. Certainly appreciate you tuning in to Pelican Sports TV.